So hello everyone and welcome back to another great day of our POTD streak of day 181. Let us see what today's question is about, and before starting, if you are new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe so we can learn, maintain and grow a streak together. Today's question is very simple to understand, right? So we have a list of S1 and then we have a list of S2 where it contains multiple strings. We just need to find out if any string of S2 is either a prefix or a suffix of S1, then you have to return 1 for that string, and similarly you have to return the count for all such possibilities, right? So if you talk about this first string cat, so I can clearly see that the cat is prefix of this string as well, the first string and the second string as well, right? But it is not a suffix, so I just want at least one, and I can see the cat has the prefix, right? So I will just my increment my count as one. Similarly, if I talk about dog, then dog I cannot find any prefix, but I can find suffix in the string too. So again I find the suffix and again I increment the count with one, right? Then I have the third string as rat, right? And none of the either prefix or suffix not present in S1. So p is also not present, suffix also not present, the count is 0 and you have to return the count of these two, right? So what would be the naive approach will be like, for what are we doing? We are iterating for each and every string in S2, right? So we'll have a for loop. Let's say for I equals to 0, I less than S2 dot length I plus plus. We are in for each and every string we are comparing it with the each and every string in S1. So let's write a nested for loop again. So j equals to 0, j less than S1 dot length this time, and j plus plus. Just give me a time, so set it over again. Okay, so let us resume again, and yeah, let's get back to the open board. So what would happen is, okay, give me a 1 sec time. Yes, so we have this nested for loop as we can clearly see, and what we need to compare is that if my particular string in S2 is a prefix or suffix of S1, right? So how can we write it? So let us see. So this is cat and this is my S2 string, right? And first of all, if I need to find that if this S2 is a prefix of string in S1, let's say in cat, or let's say the other string cat and dog, right? Then clearly I have to see this S2 length, right, should be less than equals to the string present string in which we are doing the comparison. So first my if will be like if S2 dot and S2 is nothing but it is accessed using the this index, and so if I can clearly write if S1 of j dot length. Now we are comparing a string, so it should be greater than equals to S2 of I dot length. I'm giving the pseudo code as well because the logic is very simple, right? That will be the first step. Simultaneously, I can just compare that this is my substring, right? I'm talking about just prefix now. Then we'll compare how the prefix is. So you can see that the indexes will be 0, 1, and 2, and here the indexes will be 0, 1, and 2, right? So clearly, I can see or I can find the prefix of, or I can do the S1 dot substring. I can access this particular substring of, let's say, 0 from till this S2 dot size, right? So I will say S2 dot size, and this will give me that if a prefix is present or not, right? Similarly, how I can find for the suffix. So let's say the string is in S2 is dog, and to which I need to compare is cat and dog. Cat and dog. Let us limit again. The indexes would be 0, 1, and 2, and here it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Clearly, you can see that I need to match if these three characters match with the last three characters or not, right? What can I do is that I take this entire length and I do 9 minus this S2 length, right? What I will get 6. And from 6, I can clearly do till the last and I can compare, right? So my pseudo code for this thing will be the S1 of J, right? Dot substring. Again, I'm explaining you each and every step of this, how the substring is written. And I will say S1 of J. Again, first I will find the length, what I did, length minus S2 size, right? So I will say S2 of I, S2 of I dot length, right? And you need to make a parenthesis as well. Okay, okay. So I'll give a parenthesis here, but I need to minus Yeah, I need to go till, I'll do a comma one and I need to go till the last. So I will again write s2 s1 of j dot length, right? So it will give me the comparison of this string with the last characters, right? And if that's the case, then I just have to say, let's say answer plus plus, right? And this substring should be equals to substring. I have to use the dot equals operator as well. Dot equals to s2 of I, right? I cannot use equals to sign, because in Java, if you use equals to sign, they compare the reference, right? But the reference, that is the memory. They point to the same memory or not. But if you do dot equals, then they compare that if the actual content is equal or not, right? Okay, so I'll give you enough pseudocode. Again, here will also you have to write equals s2 of I. I'll give you enough, not the entire pseudocode. Please try to code this up. A board can look a messy right now. But yes, if you have followed me using a pen and paper in yourself, you would have clearly understand that, right? It's a very naive and good purpose. What would be the time complexity that we are iterating for each and every string length in s1 and s2? So I will say s1 into s2 into the substring also take O of n complexity, right? So I will say max length of any particular string, right? Of string, let's say, right? And if you form this what to say constraint, so it is 5 into 10 power 3 into 5 into 10 power 3, and this is nothing but max string is less than mentioned as 25. If you multiply it, it will definitely go greater than 10 power 8, because if you do it 125 into 10 power 6, you will get it, right? And you can clearly see 10 power 6 and 10 power 2, and you have this again extra one. So if you are able to code this approach well and good, then you will get a TLE, yes, right? So please pause this video for 2 to 3 minutes and try to code this yourself, and then we'll resume. Okay, so I've written the same exact zero code. If you're able to code it, congratulations, this was a very simple code, right? After giving the pseudocode, it was have become damn simple. Yeah, so that is it. Let us hit the submit button for this test case, and we know the TLE should come, and let us verify that as well, and then move on to the optimize. Great. So 5 test cases have been hit the TLE, because the constraint may would have gotten over the 10 per it. Let me just scroll it for you so you can see the entire code. Now let us move back to the optimized one. How we can do now. So please pause this video again and think of any uh, approach. Okay, so what I'm saying is that we have the strings, right? So what we can do is that we have the S1 list of string as cat, cat and dog and lion, right? And what we need to do first, prefix is that we need to compare the first character, suffix is that we need to compare with the last character, right? And we want to do that in lesser time complexity, right? So what we can do is that we can make a try. Try is nothing but this node has itself has an array of 26 characters, 0 to 26, and this first character represents A, and similarly this one represents Z. Similarly, if it has the other branch, then this is another try linking to its owner via this alphabet. Okay. So I know you know the basics. I hope you know the basics of try. If not, we will cover that as well. So that's the try data structure, right? Okay. So the logic here is that we will have the root node here, and then we will keep on building it. So the first character of cat of S1 was cat, right? So the first entry would be C, then the another A, and then another as T, right? This C implies that out of 26 characters, you just have a mention, just have an entry of C, and rest other things are null. Rest other things are null, right? And how this A is reacting, we use the ASCII characters, right? So what we do A minus. Uh, yep. While coding the structure, I will tell you that how we are actually filling these values, right? We can clearly see, or if you have the character as A, so I can do minus A and give you as this ASCII character of this thing, and this string will give, right? And this 0 will say that I will be at here position, at this position, at the 0th index. Similarly for B, I will again minus A, and then it will give you 1, right? And that is how the B will present here. Okay. And similarly till Z. Okay, so this is the cat, and okay. So what else we have the string? We have cat and dog, right? So we again come at the root node, we say that we have the C entry. Okay, but go forward in this same branch. We have the A entry as well, go forward in the same branch, and again the same branch. So what I need to include more is cat and dog. So I will do and D O and G. This will be my post, the branch where it will have the string cat as well. It will have the cat here, and the cat and dog will end here, right? Okay. So what were the next strings? It was lion, right? So again, we will go to the root node and we will form a branch again because the L is not existing. So I will say L, I, O, N, right? And what were the string? I don't know. So that's it, right? So if we have a string, let's say in S2, right? So we can clearly check. There are two functions in try. One is build and one is find. Right? We have to make these functions possible. तो मैंने बिल्ड और ट्राई मैंने एक वीडियो में बहुत अच्छे से समझा रखा है मैं उस वीडियो का लिंक यहाँ पे दे दूंगा बिकॉज हियर द वीडियो इज ऑलरेडी गेटिंग लॉन्ग एंड आई गेस इफ यू हैव बीन at least studied try just once you'll be able to interact with the code as well. तो ठीक है हमें cat को सर्च करना है तो cat can clearly see that if the cat is present in this characters or not, right? तो उसके लिए हम एक find function use करेंगे and this is nothing but it iterates in this tree, right? It see that if C is an entry, okay, then move ahead, and if A is again an entry just after C, then again move ahead and cat. So and at last we will just return 1. So you can clearly see that the cat is 1 and we got an answer from prefix, so answer 1. Right? Now we have the another thing as let's to what was the another string? It was dog and rat, right? So for dog we cannot check now because we have just original string present in it, right? So how can I check for dog? If I would have a string or if I would have a in this try build as the reversal of the string as well. What I'm saying is that instead of cat and dog, we put it straightforward, right? If you would have put it in the reverse order, right? If you reverse the string cat and dog, and so we will start from this point and keep on pushing in the branch. So the G has no entries, I will push G, T, O, D, then D, N, A, and then T, A, and C, right? Now I can clearly see that the dog can be checked again using this find operation, right? I will again, I will check if the dog is present or not. That will check for the prefix, and I will reverse this dog as God, and I will check again in the find operation because this try has already the reverse string of all the S1s, right? And you can clearly see that I cannot get the prefix, but I can get the suffix, right? So from here I will get a 0.1 again, and again third string is rat. So for rat I can find this, I can check the find operation, I will not found anything. Then I will check for TAR, reverse it, then again I will not found anything, and then the resultant will be 0. Similarly, we have to push all the string for S1 in the reverse manner as well, right? So we have to push cat as well, TAC, and then lion was also a string, right? So we have to push the reversal of lion as well. So it would be N, O, I, and L. So let's say in the S2 string, let's say suppose IL was also present there, right? Or let's say NO was present. So you can clearly see for NO, we can just check that it is a suffix of the line and that would have given you +1 just because we have pushed the string in the reverse order as well, right? So what are the steps now? Let us decide the steps. Step 1 will be for you to build a try. Build a try. Second step would be to push all S1 in try. And also you have to reverse all S1. We have to reverse all strings in S1 and again push into try and push into try or build try again, right? Third step would be that you have to check for all str in S2. Use the find operation for what to say S2 of I, right? And use the find operation for reverse of S2 of I as well. Reverse of S2 of I as well. And what you need to find is that at least a prefix or suffix should be present, right? So if it is present, it will return you -1, right? So you will have a if statement, right? And you will pass a OR operator that either S2 of I should be present or the reversal of S2 of I should be present, right? So I hope at least we are clear in the logic part that how are you going to find it, right? At least we're clear on that part. ठीक है तो अब चलो धीरे धीरे शुरू करते हैं ट्राई को बिल्ड करना और ट्राई के फाइंड फंक्शन को पुश करना ठीक है Let us me reset the code editor. Again, I said the try is just a data structure which having the 26 columns, 26 an array of size 26. Each index represents the alphabets. Okay, let us build the try. Let me pause the video again, and I will show you a part of code step by step. So that's the first part. For building a custom data structure, we have to use a class keyword, and then each and everything has a 26 size array, right? So that is we are declaring again in the constructor initialization, and we're marking each and every entry as null as for now. Now we need to build we need to first we need to make a build and find solution for this try, right? So let me do that and then come back to you again. Okay, so this is the build and find function. In build, what we are saying is that if the first entry uh, let's say so we are passing the string array, right? So we first iterate in the string array, right? And then we have to push each and every string, right? So we have a nested for loop for j equals to is an a5.length, and right, and if the root node has the entry of, let's say, this first character, we are pushing cat, right? So if the first character is there, right, and if it is not there, let's say if it is not there, then it will be equals to null. You have to make a new first character, that is c, a new try, and then just iterate on it. What I'm saying is, let us assume that we are pushing a cat in our try node. So initially it has all the thing as empty, right? So it checks I'm pushing a cat, right? So it will check that if C is null or what. It will say yes, it is null. What it will do, it will make a new try. It will make a new node where this entry will have C there, right? And then we'll iterate on the, so this was my temp, right? And it pushed the pointer to now my current temp is this one, right? This one. And now it checks again for this character a. It says that in this entry if it has a marking or not. So it say I don't have, right? Make a new node again and mark it a again. In this 026 mark a that you have a, rest everything as null. In Java everything is always 0 or null if you not declare it. And then move the pointer ahead, the temp ahead. Then again you will come at the last point, it will check if you have a t entry or not in your try node. So it will say I don't have, it is again null. And what it will do, it will make again an array, mark the t here, let's say, and the temp will move on, right? And how it is efficiently handling, let's say you have another string cat and dog, right? I was having that. So what it will see, it will again come back to our root node. This is my root node, and it will check that if you have a entry C or not. It will say yes, I have the entry. So move forward, just move forward. Again, I have the A entry, just move forward, and T. So after T, it would be A. So T, my current pointer will be at this point. So now if we have an entry of A or not, then it proceeds ahead with the same branch, right? That is how the try works. Okay, I have given you enough thing on that. So that is how it is checking. If it is null, make a new node, else just traverse to the next part. Just traverse to the next node if it exists, right? And how the same thing the find will work for each and every character of a string, which will check if it is, if it are any position, if it is null, then that means that whole string that which we are checking in the try is not present, just return 0, right? Suppose we are checking for cat cat, and if C itself is not present, there is no need to check for A and T, right? So that is what is this, if is happening. And if C is present, move ahead. Root is nothing but root.ch of s.character minus a. I explained you why we are doing minus a and how this is handling in how the characters have been putting using index, right? So it will move ahead, and similarly, and if all the characters cat matches in this try, that we have successfully find that keyword and return 1. Okay. I hope I was able to clear you with this step of build and find. Now let us do the steps which we decided. What are the steps that we decided? We decided that we have to build a try, we did it. We build a find function, did it. Now we have to push all the S1 elements in try, reverse all the string in S1 and push it in try again. Let us do that step. You also do that step and come back again. So let me give you a hint that how you can reverse the string, because string is immutable in Java. So you need to make a string builder for each and every string in S1. You need to reverse it and then push it. Okay. Please pause the video again and try to do it here. Okay, so that's the code. So first we are make the root element of the try, and then we are building a try for each and every string in S1 without reversing it. First of all, then we have to reverse each string in S1, and since string is immutable, you have to use a string builder for. So we are now iterating in S1 array, and we are making a string builder for each and every string in S1, right? We are doing it sb.append, and at last at the last of the nested for loop, when we have iterated for a particular string, we're reversing it, and then we are updating our array, our original S1 array with the reversed one, and then again we are calling this S1.root, but this time it is pushing the reverse strings, right? Okay, that goes the first step. The second step is now just to check, just to again do a nested for loop, and just check, right? What is that we have to check? That if the string present in S2, if the find returns once or not, or this will check this is nothing but this is checking about the prefix. This is ensuring that prefix is available, and this find of reversing it, this is ensuring that the suffix is available or not, right? I've already explained to you how that is doing by this making this try. Okay, please pause this video again. The same code will be there for this thing, for this the first part. You just have to mention the for loop, right? The if the find function. Please pause the video again and try it yourself. Okay, so that's what we have done, checking each string in S2 in try. That is, we know that prefix will be present. Reversing each string in S2 and checking it again in try. It ensures that the suffix is present. Made an answer variable. If that's the case, we need to implement the counter as well, right? We have made for each and every entry in S2, we have made a string builder, because again we have to reverse it. So we cannot directly reverse the string because it is immutable, right? So we made a string builder, appended it, and then we reversed it. And at last, for each and every entry, we are checking that if the original string is present in the try or the reverse of that string is present in the try, we just need one because that is mentioned in the question. Either a suffix or prefix at least be present, right? We just need one. If that's the case, answer process return answer. So this code may look you going beyond 100 line, but the logic is very simple, I guess, if you are just on the understanding purpose, right? Okay, so what would be the time complexity of this? Let me scroll it for you, the whole code again, so that you can uh, stick to it, right? So we have this main function, the two nested for loop we have, and then we have a find function for the try, and then we have a build function for the try. Okay, so what would be the time complexity for this thing? So, okay, let us see. So we have two nested for loop, right? So we are just reversing and doing it again. So I think the time complexity would be, so we are doing a find operation for each and every string, right? So, and find operation is taking but O of the string length. So we are considering the max key length. Let's consider the max key length, right, as the find operations. And we are doing this operation for each and every string, right? So we have to number of strings in S1 plus number of strings in S2, right? This would be the time complexity. This is for the find operations, and this is for the number of strings we are doing the find operations for. Number of strings, correct? Okay. Now the space complexity will be what? Space complexity will be that O of, again, max key length, right? And then you are just fitting the S1 array, not the S2 array, right? But you are fitting it twice, once with the reversal and once with the original string. So I will say n S1 start, right? This will be the exact time complexity. And if you put the constraint here, this will be nothing but 10 power 3 plus 10 power 3, and this will be 25 into, like this, right? You can clearly see that this be will be less than, this will be less than 10 power 8, and if our code and logic is right, which is right, then it should successfully get submitted, right? Okay, we have shared the time complexity as well. Let us compile and then we'll hit the submit button, and then we'll end this video. Great, the test cases have been passed, and we have seen it passed. Now, okay, again we have the TLE. Let me check why is that, because I already did this question using this approach. Let me see that. Oh, that is the thing I was talking about, GFG. इनका ना कभी कभी पता नहीं क्या चलता है यार. मैंने इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व किया and it was definitely getting submitted using this approach, and you can clearly see the time complexity is less than in the bound of 10 power 8. तो कुछ तो इन्होंने अपडेट किया है. Like I solved this question just an hour ago with the same approach. It was working fine. So I think we have to wait again for the till night that whatever they have done, and also the expected and space complexity is different here, right? So you can clearly see that if it's max of len of s1 comma len of s2, um, I think we need to think again using this expected and complexity. इनका कुछ अलग ही चल रहा है यार GFG पे, like they are regularly updating the question within the day. ऐसे कैसे चलेगा यार? ठीक है, तो with this not a very good note, let us end this video and we'll meet again. If there are some any updates, I will make a video again. Okay, till then, keep learning, keep growing. Bye bye, and take care. Very disappointed here.